Today, I'm out looking for caves. It's been raining, so while it's not cold, I'm gonna get super wet today and uncomfortable right away. I could go on a sunny day, but on a sunny day, there are other campers in the region, other cars on the road. Today it was damp and rainy, and I'm completely alone, so that limits what I will do in a cave, but it's a good opportunity to go and find caves. These lava fields have sinks like this everywhere. These landscapes just have these massive beds of rocks and water and swamps and dips in the ground. And the primary way of finding caves is you go to these areas where the rocks have caved in, the sinkholes, and you dig through the rocks and see if you can find a hole. Underneath the surface here, there are lava tubes everywhere. And some of them, you just find a hole, you feel wind, you pull out some rocks, you keep going, and that is how people discover caves. I spotted this pit by looking through the trees, and I saw a light spot, and so I assumed maybe that was a place where there wasn't trees growing, and I found this sinkhole. Looks very promising. It's just weird not having any idea, but there's a dark spot over here I'm gonna go take a peek in and see if I can find a place that goes down into a tube. So, a lot of cave entrances are really small. This is not what I had planned. Well, I look forward to it being dry, just to make the entrance. Oh my goodness. Skeeters are unpleasant as well. I'm sorry about the light. I have to see. I've never been in here, so. Well, this is not what you take a person into as their first cave, because they'll never go in a cave again. What I'll tell you about is this makes going home and watching TV seem so delightful. You just got to put some challenges in your life, and then everything else becomes quite easy. These entrances. It appears that I'm in. Let there be light. And there was light. There has not been anyone in this cave in a long, long time. There are caves of differing temperatures in the Pacific Northwest. These lava tubes are generally the ambient temperature of the ground around that. They're usually hovering between 35 and 45 degrees. This one is a cold cave. It's a little bit because I just came from the outside where it's closer to 70 degrees and rainy. And here it's dry, but right around freezing. I can feel my hands go numb right away. But man, I gotta tell you, it's crisp. Oh, I don't have my elbow pads or anything, so I'm not sure how far I'm gonna get. As this seems to come to a very swift and muddy end. Does it? Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Well, that's not the way into the cave then. Some caves. Yeah, well, it's not any easier this way. I'm trying, man. You just have to drag your feet through the mud, and that can be irritating. That wasn't cool. I'd like to put a sign out here that tells everybody, do not enter. Wow, that's a good long ways down. I wanted to show you the size of this. Wow, that's a big sinkhole. It's about 300 feet across. It's collapsed. We want to go the direction that it's not collapsed, where it looks like there is no cave, because in that case, there's a better opportunity to actually find a lava tube. A lot of the biggest caves start with a small crack. Do not despise the day of small things. This is just a hole, and it's full of mosquitoes, and that's a good sign. I'm gonna take a peek down in here. Huh? How about that? It looks nice and safe, don't it? This is going to be a joy to get in and out of. Oh. We didn't ask for it to be easy. The harder they're to get into, usually the more unique they are, the more interesting. And the less humans have ever made contact with such things, and it's gigantic. Behold, a giant sink. And hopefully it goes back in there a ways. We never know. But wow, look how big it is in here. Finally, and that's just through that little entrance that just drops down about 15 feet through the hole in the ceiling. Look at the size of this cave. And we've got the beginnings of sandcastle formations, which I will show you shortly. I'll try to stay out of the best of those, although this cave will flood periodically and the drips will drip down and starts to carve out the sand. And each year, as the water recedes and the sand erodes over thousands of years, it starts to carve out more and more elaborate designs. Right now, it looks like little pits in the floor, but later on, the pits will become the floor and only the tops of these will remain. Now, this is how it begins, with just pits in the floors, little drips, drip, 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 one drip at a time. So this is a lava trench. When lava rips down and burns through the earth, it usually starts to cool, and then the earth will close, the lava itself will cool and sort of close back on itself. The outer core will create a hard rock and it flows, and sometimes in there it will dig down again. And that's what happens here, is a lava will create its own trench, and you can walk down them. Sometimes they get super narrow, sometimes you can walk up on the shelves, and if you're looking at a cutout frame, it looks like a keyhole, like the shape of a skull. They're pretty neat. Fortunately, most of this rock is pretty solid, although it is damp today. Oh, this is so cool. You have got to come up here and check this out. Cool. I'm gonna drop down there. This is that passage we just came down. Oh, and watch that. Watch the old. Oh, that's not bad at all. Just a ball of lava. Is it connected? No, you could take that home if you were so inclined. Okay, looks like it's ending. Yeah, that is what we call a nice, hard pinch. Oh my. That's cool. Does it proceed on? In this little hole up here, it's a tiny hole, but I think the cave goes on. I don't think I can fit through there, but maybe. So I'm gonna stick the camera back there and we're gonna find out. This is something I like to do when you are not sure if you can get somewhere. It does continue on, but how far? That hole isn't passable by a human. I mean, it is, but not if you didn't know you could get back out. If you thought you could get back out if you thought you could get in there and turn around, then we'll see what happens. I'm not making any promises. Boy, he's really pushing. Hang on.
It does continue.
Right now, part of me does not understand this world. I don't understand any of the sides people are taking. I don't understand why. Now, in the wild, when you go hiking, when you go looking for caves, when you go do any kind of thing, when you go camping, there's two things that are true. One, it's more harsh. It's a harsh reality. There's less food available to you. There's less comforts of home. But the trade-off is that it's a simpler life. It's easy to understand. Nature and caves, they can have their dangers and challenges, but I know what to expect from it. With humans, I have no idea. If people have my interest in mind or their own interest in mind, I have no idea what people are truly capable of, because I don't know people's hearts. I know the heart of nature. I know the heart of animals. I know they lived virtually by instinct. I know how caves are laid out. I've come to understand them pretty well. And so I can go on these challenging hikes and I can go and have a good time and just feel refreshed. So that's why I like to go hiking and go caving. I like it for the challenge. I like it for its harshness. And I love it for its simplicity. I found this giant log right on the side of the trail. And it's super hollow and super light. This thing's been rotten forever. It weighs maybe 200 pounds. I could probably pick it up, as I am known for my power. But what I want to do is set it up in the middle of the trail. See if I can get it to balance. It'll be super awkward when someone's hiking this trail and they're like, why is a tree growing on the trail? Look at that! I did it!